He's been lying there for more than 10 hours. His belly is full of the buffalo he shared with his pride yesterday. He is the boss, the dominant male. Less than a year ago, with his younger brother, he took control of a small group of females. The two young lions had already tried their luck several times and had lost out to this big black-maned male. But there was one day when their courage helped them to carry the day and chase off a previously dominant lion. Now that they have taken over the pride, they have to stay in charge. Their roaring can be heard several miles away, as far as the edge of their territory. It worries and frightens all the animals of the savannah, but that is incidental. In fact, the lion is simply communicating with his fellows, with any intruders who might want to replace him, with members of his pride. He wants to remind them that he exists and ensure the cohesion of the group, because he knows that they are often spread far and wide. His young brother, for instance, is a long way off, down by the river, along with two young females. They've fallen asleep on the sand a few meters from the buffalo killed the day before. It was a handsome prey, and it provided enough food for each of them to eat their fill. So they don't have to hunt again for 2 or 3 days. They can just sleep it off. Strolling a little way downstream are the 3 sisters, key members of the pride. They are 8-year-old lionesses, in their prime and inseparable. They are the fearsome predators who killed the buffalo. The rest of the group are on the plain a mile or so away. Among them, there is a young mother who a few weeks ago gave birth to 4 cubs. She's left them hidden in the grass, no great distance away. Since they were born, she has been living with her mother, separate from the pride. There's a very strong bond between these 2 females. One of them is 4 years old and has just reached maturity. The other is 17 and is coming to the end of her life. The head of the family is in the same area. He's the father of the cubs, but takes very little notice of them. Right now, he's more interested in some new smells. When lions curl back their upper lip in this typical grimace, it's so that they can better sniff the pheromones and the messages left by lionesses on heat. Before evening falls, mother and grandmother decide to move closer to the place where they left the cubs. The plain was already partly in shadow when the lion cubs finally located their mother and joined her. In the little group now approaching, there are 2 male lion cubs and 2 baby females. At this moment, as if to reassure his little family, the lion reminds them that he is there, not far away. His roaring can be heard at regular intervals throughout the night. Lions are early birds. Mama lion leads her little brood out onto the plain before the sun has even risen. The 2 young males walk at the front, and grandmother brings up the rear. Why are they on the move so early? To get a little nearer to other family members. There's a good chance they will find some of the family in the bushy part of the savannah. There are acacias here for the giraffes, and enough to satisfy somewhat the elephant's huge appetite. The very varied vegetation here attracts many different species, especially those that the lions prefer. Good-sized animals weighing from 50 to 300 kilos. Unsurprisingly, that's where we find the 3 sisters. They're going about their morning's greetings. This is a sort of ingrained habit, a routine before they start their day in earnest. They'll do this at a lion's pace. That is, they take their time. There's no hurry. They will move on a little way as they consider what to do, depending on what turns up. As for the cub's mother, she's settled down again. After her babies have suckled, she'll give them a few moments of motherly love. It's time for the head of the pride to get on the move and take advantage of the fresh air of the morning to inspect his territory. As the pride is relatively small, the 2 brothers have to rule over an area of just about 30 square kilometers that includes several ecosystems. There's a river flowing across the plain which marks the northern limit of the family's territory, with its grassy and bushy areas. It serves as a sort of boundary. None of the lions in the family dare to cross to the other bank. Even in the worst part of the dry season, there's always enough water left for the elephants to drink. The lion's territory measures barely 10 kilometers on the longest side. It's bordered on the eastern side by stony hillsides. There are often elephants and hoofed animals there too. And sometimes greater kudus and zebras. These loose stones are too uncomfortable for the delicate pads on the lion's feet, so they prefer to keep to the plains. The head of the pride began his day less than an hour ago, and he is already slowing down, ready for a break. His younger brother appears even less keen to be busy. And with his two friends, has moved only about 200 meters in 24 hours. Admittedly, the day before he ate over 30 kilos of meat. That's 5 times his usual intake. The young lionesses with him are the daughters of the 3 sisters. All the females in the pride are related. The lion cub's mother is feeling hungry. She didn't take part in the buffalo feast and hasn't eaten for 3 days. She's having a little rest before going off hunting. Once she's made sure her young are safe on a rock. The male babies are close together, while their sisters are nearby. At this particular moment, all the members of the pride are immobile, either asleep or resting. The 3 sisters, although they're not busy, are still on the alert. Lions are always ready to spring into action. Potential prey coming within 200 meters has no chance of going unnoticed. The lionesses judge the situation. The distance is reasonable, ideal for an attack so long as they can get close enough without being spotted. A few of these wildebeest have started to run because they've noticed the lionesses. So this time, it's game over before it even started. The lionesses didn't even try anything and lie down again with no hard feelings. Conditions were not favorable. Although the moment isn't right, the lion cub's mother is now feeling too hungry and has started to hunt. These gazelles would do for now, but they're not the ideal prey. They're too quick, too sharp, and with too little meat on them to make the effort worthwhile. However, down by the river, there's another opportunity. Giraffes are among the lion's favorite prey. But you have to attack them in a group to have any chance of bringing them down. The lioness can't rely on any help from her mother, who is too old now to hunt. Only one option remains: attack a baby giraffe. Hunkered down in the grass a little way away, the grandmother watches the scene unfold. She's experienced, so she already knows who the next victim will be. One mother's bad luck will be a delight for other youngsters. At 3 months old, lion cubs still drink their mother's milk, but they're beginning to enjoy meat. At 6 months, they will be weaned. As they continue to grow, the two young males spend more time together and begin to form very strong bonds. Their life ahead will be very different from that of their sisters. Both the two young males are present at every stage in the life of the pride, and they are learning all the time. In the middle of the day, the big herbivores can pass quite close to the predators without much risk. Lions never hunt when it's too hot. Their body type will not allow it. Their heart is too small for them to recover from such intense effort in high temperatures. They're more likely to come to life at twilight, when animals come to have a last drink before nightfall. The three sisters have come to slake their thirst in a pond where there are already a number of hippos. It's a good time for hunting, and the hippos will be coming out of the water to eat on the riverbank. Three lions on terra firma can soon finish off a young hippo. But this one is not afraid and might even fight back. The arrival of its mother and some backup make the lion's plan somewhat more risky. After a final face-off, the lioness gives up and retreats to find a more amenable victim. This moment is a godsend for any predators endowed with good night vision, like lions. It's a good time for beginners to test their hunting ability. They can practice on fairly modest-sized prey. During the night, the big predators have a noticeably better success rate. This leopard has attacked a wildebeest. The three sisters have killed another buffalo, and they've allowed the two leaders of the pride to start on the prey. The bosses take priority. Lions' hunting activities are concentrated in the hours just before and after sunrise and sunset. The temperature is fresh, and the light producing brightness and shade brings about ideal conditions for taking victims by surprise. Replete lions can still have an attack reflex, but these are far too sleepy. During the night, both males, separately, walked a long way to meet up with the three sisters and accompany them in the hunt, but without really taking part. They will lie next to them until evening. It has all begun as a normal, beautiful day. A moment of peace shared by all species, as if nothing dangerous could possibly happen. The lion cubs are already quite grown, and yet they are all still together. This is a near miracle, as mortality can be as high as 80% in their first year of life. They owe their survival to the abundance of game in the region. There's no competition with adults. They also owe it to their father's vigilance. If any interloper had taken over, the new leader would most likely have killed the young ones. The day unfolds peacefully. The lionesses strengthen the bond that unites them, solving a practical problem at the same time. They have difficulty washing this part of their body themselves. Two large cubs are playing a little farther away. So this is what life is like within the pride. It's rather repetitive, with some changes as life goes on. For herbivores, the rainy season is a godsend. But it has little impact on lions. Although the three sisters prefer to watch the driving rain from under a tree. When he returns from his daily rounds, the head of the pride is drenched, muddy, and looking somewhat less superb than he did. But his looks are not what counts. Another season is over, and he and his brother are still leading the group. The rains have transformed the savanna, topped up the water sources and food supplies. Without a real reason, just because a few months have passed, the pride has also changed a lot. It has moved to a rocky outcrop in the east of the territory, and it has gained some new members. Within the last few months, 2 of the 3 sisters have given birth. Lions don't have an actual birthing season. They can give birth at any time of the year. But within a single pride, females often have their babies at the same time. The timing of these births takes place over a few weeks. So the cubs will receive their own mother's milk or that of another. Lionesses are ready to suckle a cub that is not her own if need be. That is the true strength of these animals. Together, they're entirely focused on the survival of their descendants. As they're very busy ensuring the well-being and safety of their babies, the mothers tend to restrict their own comings and goings. They take turns hunting, often leaving the job of bringing in food to a sister with no baby of her own to keep her busy. Today, this lioness has killed a large antelope. Dinner will be served soon. The lioness could have eaten her prey alone then and there, but at some considerable effort, she dragged more than 100 kilos of flesh back between her jaws. From the top of their rock, the cubs can see that the prey is intact. The lioness has not touched it. She is keeping the best pieces to share. The head of the pride has been watching everything from afar. He comes down to be the first served. Over the next few days, the babies start taking walks. All the little ones are there, vigilantly watched over by their mother. Whenever they can, the cubs stop to play. They are already testing out various holds and bites. The play area turns into a training ground for hunting. And as the rocks turn into a sort of playground, a powerful sound reverberates across the savannah. The roar starts on the plain. A raucous cry that comes from afar. It becomes louder and louder as the intruder approaches. A large, solitary male is coming this way with a determined swagger, leaving no doubt that he is intent on conquering new territory. An imposing dark mane falls from his neck to his shoulders, a spectacular feature that can protect him during a fight. It is also a sign of his vitality, making him seductive to the females. The head of the pride does not hesitate for a moment. He sets off to face the interloper to let him know that this is his domain and that he will not be pushed around. So he walks, he marks his territory, he heads towards the river, daring his rival to cross it. With his markings and roarings, his strategy pays off in the end. The intruder gives up without much ado and turns his back on the river that he'd been approaching. Of course, he was alone, and lions rarely take control of a pride on their own. It takes two of them working as a team. Over the next few days, the head of the clan and his brother start making new markings. The manes of these two young males, born of the first litter, have developed over the past 2 years. They are now hunting large prey, along with their two sisters and other females of the group. Their hopes are high, and the outcome uncertain. But not a week goes by without large game being made available for the pride to share. The king is getting old, but he's still head of the pride, and thanks to his fertility and the new blood it has brought, the pride still reigns uncontested on the plain. The manes of these two young males are still growing, and for the moment they remain an integral part of the pride. Grandma has trouble keeping up now and often finds herself left alone. She is 20 years old, so her time is almost up. On the northern edge of the territory, the river carries vegetation torn from its banks. Nature begins a new cycle. Over the seasons, the head of the clan tirelessly performs his routine. He does the job. He travels methodically around his territory, proclaiming to all that they have to deal with him if they want his place. And one day, that's exactly what happens. He did well in the battle, but it left its mark. The two family leaders are now 7 years old, and their days of glory are over. Only the younger brother is still fathering offspring. Age will not stop him. Only when he and his elder brother are chased off by younger, stronger males will they lose control of the pride. And as long as the brothers are in charge, the females will be ready to mate with them. With 2 years between litters, a lioness can give birth up to 4 or 5 times in her lifetime. At the moment, the pride leader and his 2 elder sons aren't getting along. The youngsters are almost 3 years old. Their manes are fully developed, and they'll soon be old enough to reproduce. They will not, of course, mate with a sister, aunt, or even with a cousin. So they will have to leave the pride to avoid inbreeding and to keep a healthy gene pool within the group. This is how destiny separates brothers and sisters. The 2 daughters, like all the females in the group, will stay for the rest of their lives. But for the moment, the brothers have postponed their leave-taking. They are closer than ever, getting ready for their new life together in a different place, a place very far away from the family. As if to leave a trace on the territory of his childhood, the young lion starts making markings. He has seen his father do this so often. Another season is over. The leaves of the mopane tree have faded, and the landscape is adorned with warm colors. But this beauty will pass. A new dry season is around the corner. During this sad season, when the savanna has lost its colors, when grasses and coats turn dull, when even the plumage of birds does nothing to enliven the environment, the moment comes. The privilege of reproducing belongs to the head of the pride, to the younger brother. The 2 nephew brothers must leave. They set off together, unhurried. They will walk for days to the ends of the only territory they have ever known, and which they must now abandon. Crossing the river is a big moment, a symbol. It's the point of no return. They leave a hippopotamus carcass behind them. They had killed it to eat, as they can no longer count on the females of the pride to provide game. Once their stomachs are full, they can carry on with their new life. The two brothers will now begin living to the rhythm so particular to their species. They will sleep 20 hours a day and move, always as little as possible, as if in no apparent hurry. This behavior is a paradox, as time is not really on their side. They have 8, perhaps 10 years left to live. They have yet to take over a pride, reproduce within it, and remain in control of it for at least 5 or 6 years before being chased off. They will undoubtedly survive wounds and then, although weakened, resume a life of solitude and wandering. The king of the beasts pays a high price for his title. Meanwhile, back in their former family, life goes on. And this lioness, daughter of the 3 sisters, has just given birth to a new litter, to a male and a little female. You can't tell them apart yet, and they can both count on the unwavering affection and attention of their mother. She knows that their first year is the most dangerous one, but the little ones don't know yet, and they carry on playing without a care in the world.